Okay, so now welcome to the lecture number two. We are continuing with the data types again. Okay, so let's go here and create the new module Python file. So I use this variables chapter. This is 1.2. Okay, let me press enter. Okay, so let's start now. Fine. So you see, last time we talked about the data type string. So I want to tell you one thing that if you have here x as hello, for example, okay, and then you say that okay, I want to print x. Okay, I want to print x. You'll get the hello answer, correct? But let's say if you go and again reassign the value and you say that this is hello 2 or hello 1, whatever, right? Now, what will happen if I say I want to run this program? Will you get hello or hello 2? Right, or you get the error because you're using the same variable. Well, you see, as far as the uh, repetition of repeating the variable is concerned, you can use this variable a number of times. You can allocate the new values any point in time. Sometime what happens when you write the program, on the 50th line you will say that okay, so I want this value, but then on the 100th line you may feel that the value has to be changed automatically or maybe manually. So you can always go and give these values. You can change these values. Variables are perfectly fine. As I said, variable is not just to store the information, but you can also change the values. You can also reuse the variables with different values each time when they actually run. So the question is now here that when I run this, what I'm going to see. Okay, as I said that the latest value will be checked because when the code runs, first it will execute the line number 1 and then it will execute the line number 2 and then so on. Okay, so if I run this program, it will pick the last line, right? It will pick the last line. See that we got here value hello 2. But you must understand one thing, that if I do something like this, for example, if I don't write this, I cut this from here, and now I say that, okay, give me the value of the x. Now what will happen? Now you'll get hello first, and then in the next line you'll get the hello too, because here when your pointer is here in the memory, variable x will have only hello 1. But when the pointer comes here in the fourth line, a new value will happen there, will happen replaced, right, by hello 2. So if I'm writing print command at different stages, output will also vary. So if we run this, we will have two values. One is the hello 1 and the second is the hello 2. As simple as that, right? So one thing is clear, that one variable can be reused again and again in the same program. There is no challenge. Okay, the another thing is that Python is a case sensitive language, guys, and this was a shock to me when I actually because prior to Python, as I said, that I was actually working with the macros, Excel, VBA, and database. Also I used to write SQL also, I mean, like all that. So case sensitivity was something I was very new to that. So here what I'm trying to say is that if you, for example, this is fine. Okay, let me just go and select all this using the shift key and arrow down, and now say control backslash. Okay, you see, if I say that x equals to hello, okay, and this is a small x, now I'm writing the capital X, right? What do you think if I now go and say print, sorry, in the capital, not in the capital, print x, what are you going to see? What are you going to see? Let me change this to hello 2. What are you going to see? You will see, actually, because this is a small x, so this variable is different than this variable because of their capital and the small keys. So Python will not treat them same. If you think that you're going to see hello 2, no, this is different and this was different. Here this was also small x and this was also a small x, but here this x and x are different. Okay, so if that means that if I say now here I want the capital X, you will first see hello and then hello 2. Got the point? So you have to be very careful when you're working with the Python when it comes to the case sensitivity part. Look at this. Now these are different variables. Okay, these are different variables. So this is the very important point. So that means that if I say that x comma x, and let's say we want to use the separator code, maybe let's say Let's say I want to use something called um, okay, I want to use this like this, for example. This is my separator. So when you use this command, let's just comment this. What will happen? What should happen? You see hello 2, and then space, and then hyphen, and then space, and then hello, right? There will be a one value, one string, and that will give you all these, the variable values, right? So let's see that now. So now what happens, guys, if I go and let me just comment this out. So let's say we want to print here capital X comma X small x, and then let's say another parameter separator I want to use here as this should be equals to let's say, again, let me use the single hyphen. Okay, now what will happen if we run this command? You will see the two variables output together with hyphen sign. Look at this now. So don't get confused that you will see here hello hyphen hello or hello 2 hyphen hello 2. No, this is a different variable. This is a different variable. This is your, for Python, this is a second variable, right? And this one is the first variable. So these are the very small things, but it can trouble you if you do not know about it. Okay, now once we are done with this, now let's talk about, so these are all fine. I just say that. Let's see the another data type actually. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a, what happens if I say, so if I run this, see that we should see here a value, right, which is 12. Makes sense, right? Because this is actually an integer, right? So if I have to see that what is the the type of this, you can say type, and I can just go and say, now let me run the program again. Okay, let's see that. Look at this. So the type, the data type, the class is integer. In other languages, a few languages, you always use the data type as integer, but here it is called int, which is one and the same thing. But remember, basically int means that it is to hold the number values. And I should write here whole number, right? Not a decimal. And obviously text is not at all possible in this. Okay, so when I have to go and work with the numbers, Python assigns the data type called integer. Okay, this is, I think, pretty much clear. Now what happens if there's another data type which we use actually to work with the decimal numbers. Look at this now. So there's another data type called float. Okay, this is we use to hold the actually, or to work with the decimal values. Okay, for example, if I have here p equals to 8.3 and I have here q equals to 3.4, for example, right? So what is going to happen if I say p plus q? What is going to happen? P plus q, if I write here, Python will check that these are decimals, obviously. So Python will give us the value which is 8.3 plus 3.4, right? So let me just comment this. Yeah, so now you see, let's run this program. First of all, see, are we going to get the decimal number here? Yeah, perfect, right? So there's a decimal number which is coming, correct? So if I have to see that what is the data type, well, I can check here. For example, let's check the data type of p. So the data type of p and the q will be same, isn't it? So let's run the code again. So we should see here float, and we should not see here int. Make sense, right? So these are the very basic things, right? So now, so it means that Python can work with the decimals also, Python can work with the whole numbers also, and Python can work with the strings also, right? So majorly these are the data types, right? In the future we will talk about the list also, right? We will talk about tuple also, we will talk about the dictionary also. So there are a lot of things, guys, but I don't want to complicate the things. When the right time comes, as we move ahead, we will deal with all those things. Let's keep the life very simple, isn't it? Let's enjoy this, right? So for now you have to practice on the three data types. right? So in the next lecture, let's talk about, let me just ask you a few of the questions which can trouble you, and obviously your fundamentals will then be much clearer, and you will have a strong foundation. So let's go and talk about those things based on what we have covered, and let me see that how many of you can answer those things. Till then, you please go and practice on all these things.